Welcome to the show. Today I've got author and writer David Nash, and the book is Van Gogh's Ear. Quite the experience to read, full of ups and downs, a little bit dark, not for everybody, but if you like a thriller and you like a little bit of the dark side, you're going to love David's writing. He comes to me today from New York. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, David, tell me, how did you write such a dark novel? Is this something that's just inside of you that you had to bring out, or are you using your imagination?
Well, absolutely, I'm using my imagination. Although I do have some knowledge of some of the things that themes in the book. Of course, I subscribe to the fact that good fiction depends on both a great imagination and some good research and knowledge. But as far as being dark and graphic, you know, I, I I like to read novels that really get to the soul of things, and I think that I tend to write the same way. I write for myself. I write that those things which I believe would give me the most pleasure to read. I other than that, I think I have there's I think all writers kind of have an unknown force in their head that gives them access to certain images or broken images, and if they're able to put those together successfully in certain combinations, sometimes a good book is forthcoming.
That's such an interesting process that writers go through. And you say, that there's this force inside your head. I think that's true. Writers just seem to call upon a different place inside of them that enables, these plots to unfold on the paper that is really quite compelling if you have that gift. Is it something you're born with, or did you develop that?
Well, I think no matter what one does, especially in terms of art, I think talent has to be at the root of any good art. And when I say good art, I'm referring to those things which are challenging, which someone might have some difficulty, but that pays off well. But yes, I I I think that like what was your question again?
It is, are
I,
you
I got
born?
there. Yeah.
I'll edit that part out. Are you born with talent, or do you
Oh,
nurture do you have to really nurture this gift of writing?
I think people are born with talent, and I think if they're fortunate enough to recognize that, they work hard, and there's a lot of nurturing that goes with that. So I believe it's both. Some people get by on talent alone. I think it would be very difficult to just get by on just pure nurturing. But your ideal situation is going to be, a good couple good dollops of talent, and then some good hard work or nurturing, as you put it.
I think that's a great advice, no matter what profession you're in. David, you were lucky enough to get a publisher. Is this your first novel?
Yes, this is my first novel. That's
Yeah,
right.
and that's very compelling for a first novelist to be able to go and get a publisher. Tell me how that process happened. Did you have to send out 1,000 query letters? We hear those stories.
Yeah, I did. I sent out my fair share of query letters, and I incurred and experienced a lot of rejection. I was lucky enough to for a publisher, a boutique, a small independent publisher who likes taking chances. Uh, uh, Star Cloud Press is the name. They took a chance on my book, and so yeah, I feel very fortunate to be with them.
Yeah, and they must be thrilled because you're coming. This up and coming book is getting some rave reviews. Very well written, very compelling cover. I've held it up a couple of times. I just want to see if people can actually see this on the the webcam because it is very compelling. Now, it's a story of two brothers, really a love story, you know, traditional story of love and redemption and so forth. But there are some twists and turns. I don't want to give away too much, so tell the audience a little bit that you want them to know about the book.
Well, the book starts out with a young man who's in prison for some murders he may or may not have committed, one of them being that of his brother. So it's really a collection, kind of a kaleidoscopic collection of the broken images that he, at least at this point in his life, has collected as he tries to put together the events of his most recent past, and then intermittently, while he does that, we get bits and pieces of his life growing up with his family and his experiences and their travels. And but I guess I would say it's about how he tries to make sense of what has happened, the relationship with his brothers. The centrifugal force of this book would be a rape that happens to his brother. It's a story of revenge, and as they go and leave Utah and head to they're artists, they're musicians, as they head to Southern California to try and make this right. So there's some hunting that goes on. There's some music, and but there mostly is just this narrator's name is Brentwood. His trying to make sense of his life at a very young age, but he's been through a lot.
And you can get the book by just clicking on the link at Talking Books TV or going over to vangoesear.net. Is there another book in the works?
There is another book in the works. As I like to say, I don't think it's appropriate to do exploratory surgery on a fetus, so I don't discuss it in much detail, other than to say that it takes place in New York City, and it should be a very fun and wrong, but for all the right reasons, ride. I think it'll be better than this one.
Thank you so much for joining me today on Talking Books TV, and I'm looking forward to the next one coming out. But in the meantime, I'd like everyone to go get Van Gogh's Ear by David Nash. Compelling, terrific book. Rave reviews from an up-and-coming author. Thanks for being on the show.
Michelle, thank you. I thank you for having me. Very